And a warm welcome on behalf of Rico here from Imagine 2012 outside the city of Den Bosch. We're at my table, Trae Chancellor. Trae, welcome.
Thank you.
Nervous like hell probably, because you have to go on stage in a really creative environment.
Very creative.
Do you like it so far?
Oh, it's been a most inspirational morning. I just thoroughly enjoyed the topics. Even hearing Victor, who went last from KLM, we were so inspired by them last year that we actually borrowed one of their videos to bring into our own conference.
As an example of how to use social.
It's an amazing example how companies are pioneering the space.
How small can be big also, eh? The surprise campaign, which was really like small but had a great effect.
It was huge, and and this whole thing, meat or seat versus meat, or meat versus seat, I guess, it's just incredible. I remember reading about it, and now to actually hear about these people.
There are people come.
I know, but you're always going to find that in the leaders and the innovation that people try.
Exactly.
So it's great.
Your official title is Vice President Global Enterprise Strategy, is that right?
Correct.
I think the former title was far more easy, CIO.
CIO.
But anyway, you're a big guy within Salesforce. Why are you invited on this event?
Well, I think,
besides that, you probably know Mark Buhlhauer or not?
I know Mark.
Yeah?
I know Mark. And he's been a huge Salesforce supporter for a number of years. He's been to a number of our events, but more it's because the innovation theme, I'm lucky. I have one of the most enjoyable jobs, I think.
Right.
And it's because I get to meet with customers. I get to help take those ideas. When I hear Victor and I hear other companies about these innovative transformations that are taking place, I can take those ideas and go back to our R&D team, our technology teams, our development teams, and basically turn that into product, turn those into ideas that we can basically leverage and use for all of our other customers, existing customers.
How difficult is it to stay ahead of everybody else? If you're talking about the strategy of Salesforce, you were, I think, one of the first. Now everybody's talking about the cloud and SaaS models and stuff like that, but you were one of the first years ago that already said no software needed, everything in the cloud, and probably it was mentioned in other terms back then, but how difficult is it to stay innovative and to be always a couple of steps ahead?
It is incredibly difficult every day because you have very innovative groups, people, ideas that are out there. You have to be what I call the beginner's mind. We take a sort of a Buddhism approach, but every morning we go in, we think about a clean slate. We think about what is innovative, what is happening out in the space, and what can we basically learn and take in and produce real live product. And because we started out in the cloud, we don't have this legacy of stacks of hardware and so on. We don't have to worry about that. We have a single stack that all 110,000 plus customers run on. So when we innovate and we change or implement an idea, it changes for all 110,000 plus customers at once. And we can change that 3 times a year. And that's incredible pace for an enterprise company. It's incredible pacing for a consumer company.
Is 3 times a year enough?
It's enough right now. If we want to change that momentum, we can easily go back to our methodologies. We obviously run under agile and sprint methodologies. We're able to decrease or increase that. But
you hear perpetual beta, what Mark van der Gijs also told, it's like never finish, or just keep on developing and iterating in new, it's like almost a continuous beta.
Exactly, and that's how we approach it. It's just continuous. There's no finish line at all, and this is what conferences like this are about. Just so inspiring.
What's the social enterprise for you?
Social enterprise is basically leveraging what we learn from the social components of the consumerization. So Twitter, Facebook, that's where communities, that's where people are living. It's the forefront of technology. Embracing that and bringing it into the enterprise, because you have to have special features and functionality to enable it in the enterprise. And taking that from the consumer side and making it enterprise ready in our stack for our customers.
Well, I was looking for you on social.
Ah, you were on social.
Yeah.
On which social?
I think I was looking in Twitter, Facebook, but of course LinkedIn. Are you active on social media?
I'm very active in all 3 of those sites. Foursquare to you name it. I try to play in all those areas. And
which you like most?
My favorite right now is the concept of Foursquare. I think it mashes together the intricate details of social, from being friends from Facebook to the Twitter components, but it's all location based, and you start to open up the ideas around who are your friends at, where are you at, tweeting out and being comfortable with the idea that within this subset of your community that you're publishing information about yourself, that you're basically now leveraging social in the game style, even like to earn badges and rewards and new opportunities.
I use Waze navigation system.
Oh yeah,
that's always like
great.
Ding, hey, thank you for reminding me.
I got a new badge. It's a game, and so taking those concepts again, and how would an enterprise use that? And that's where I get to play with, and it's
what are the main obstacles if we're talking about making the enterprise social?
The main obstacle is just it's a people issue. It's not a technology issue. You said, do we need to change faster? We change and add new functionality continuously, but it's about people at this time. How fast can the CIOs of today's organizations step forward and embrace this change?
But are the obstacles more on like the user level or on board level?
It's definitely not on board level anymore. In fact, we're getting more and more boards to basically ask us to come present, ask us about our vision. We have a program called Ignite that we just started. We started out of corporate, but it's sitting down with board members and leaders in an organization, existing or prospect, and using beginner's mind concept, igniting just innovation around what would your business be like if you could embrace the social enterprise? What would it look like? Forget everything. Wipe it clean and reinvent it.
Yeah.
And it can be 3 hours, it can be 3 days, but it's driven a lot by the board level. But where not the resistance, but the pace of change is really held in track by the people within an organization. Yeah. How fast can they change?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's an exciting part too to work
because
on.
organizations don't like change, right?
No. And I'm a change agent. I hope to think.
I love it. I mean also.
Yeah.
People call it the post-PC era. That like the PC is not the main hub anymore, but it's more and more mobile. Do you see that also if you're looking at your the user base of Salesforce? Is it already a lot of mobile users or tablet users, or what do you see in that area?
Yeah, we see, so 3 principles for us around the social enterprise. It's about being open architecture, open standards.
Yeah.
That's huge for our enterprises. It's about being social, obviously, basically embracing the consumer side and bringing those features in, and it's about being mobile. Mobility, HTML5 to any device, being able to publish or write native apps to basically building apps in the cloud and displaying them on devices. All of that is a core piece of our strategy, but we see huge adoption already of PC by our customers. In fact, at Salesforce, all of us have iPads. That was a decision we made a year ago because we needed to get in touch with how our customers are going to be working. Yeah. So we drive it through that kind of innovation as well. So we live and breathe it, which is fun.
Last question, the whole big data thing. A lot of times I think like, okay, then we've got a lot of data, it's like exploding everywhere. Yes. So all those companies have all the data they want and more, and storage isn't an issue anymore, and we've got silver, but how can we make it from data to, say, knowledge or information? Is that the essence of what Salesforce does?
In fact, we did an acquisition last year called Radiant 6, so I'm going to use a social component because there's so much. Just take the idea of what's in the public.
Did you buy that company? Or?
We bought it.
Okay.
We bought it. It's integrated within our stack now. So all of our customers have access to this, and the technology behind it is amazing. It basically searches tens of thousands of channels in the public social network, takes that data, brings it in through filters, through engines, what they're called, sentiment engines or whatever, and cycles that into usable, knowledgeable data. Yeah. So an example would be somebody tweets, I had an awful experience with your ATM, to one of our bank customers. That information is critical to this bank. They can take that, it's in a case, they can track it, they can retweet it out, They can say, we're sorry, we have a technician there, or offer them another location. But just like you heard Victor in the KLM, that dialogue needs to occur. And that's taking data that would just be lost and make it knowledgeable and actionable.
Something else than old school CRM, right?
Yes, exactly. Going back to old school CRM, because it's changing, where people don't use the phone anymore, they're using Twitter and, like you said, LinkedIn and Facebook and everything else.
What's your story this afternoon?
It's about enabling the social enterprise. We hear a lot about, the vision, the beginner's mind, but we have such amazing stories from customers on their success with the social enterprise and this transformation. So mine is about making it happen. Basically the Happinator, which carried the theme in through today.
Change agent and the Happinator. Trae, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.
I have a lot of fun on stage, and thanks for watching on behalf of Rico. Bye.